All right. What is good? Thomas Hand only dropping by. My man Foodie starting soon. All right, enjoy. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man Lincoln Clay coming back at you with a live stream. This is not exactly live from Wakanda, as there was a couple of things that I really wanted to talk about that I felt were some fairly interesting topics. And let's see here. Okay, so chats, what's good with you? And to anybody else that might be watching, how you doing? It's Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Today's date is January 18th, 2020, which is hindsight. So I did post some news. I did keep my links going throughout the week, and I was making posts as I saw the news. But these two particular subjects that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into them, and I feel like it would have taken up a considerable amount of time. So I didn't want to just touch on these subjects and then just move on. I wanted to dig into them a little bit, and it would have made this show extra long if I would have went pretty deep into these subjects as well as still delivering the normal news throughout the week. So I just decided we're not going to call this live from Wakanda. We're just going to talk about these two subjects today. But the only bit of news, I wouldn't even really call it a bit of news. Uh, I saw a video a couple of days ago from Polish Paul, and I don't have a problem naming the source. But he posted a video about whether or not PlayStation VR 2 would launch right alongside the PS5. Now, in his video, he talked about the developers of the Titanic as well as Apollo 11. I guess they had an investors meeting, which I didn't, with them appearing to be an indie studio, I didn't know they were big enough that they could hold investors meetings. But according to him, they held an investors meeting and they explained to investors that they did make a profit, although they did not meet expectations. They fell short of their goal, but they wanted to reassure investors that 2020 would be a better year because there's because all the headsets are out there, and now people can start focusing on games. And he also pointed out that in this investors meeting, they revealed to investors that the PSVR 2 headset would launch alongside the PS5, and explained that would help boost profits. And I wanted to throw that out there because I do hope it's true. But I guess to touch on that subject a little bit, if that is true, and it will launch alongside the uh, PS5, expect Sony to pull a little bit of bullshit. Because if PSVR 2 is going to launch alongside the PS5 this year, the current PSVR, do not expect them to make a permanent price cut until only a couple of months before they release PSVR 2. Because Sony's been known to do that in the past, which I think would I think something like that would infuriate some people. I think if it's true that the new headset will launch this year, it reaffirms my belief that they should go ahead and make a permanent price cut right now. Um, because truth be told, I think next month would be the perfect time to at least put the headset on sale, because a lot of people are going to be getting their taxes back. Tax time is coming up. And when you have people, that's going to get anywhere from, $100 to, 7,000, depending on how many kids they claim and all that kind of stuff. to put the headset on sale, this particular bundle with the Move controllers, to put it on sale for $250, just like they did for Black Friday and for Christmas, this would be the perfect opportunity to get some headsets moving, especially being that Iron Man has been delayed and pushed back to May. Because what does Sony have to attract people to PSVR between now and then? Thomas Hand, I trust the guys on the financial side more than people who claim to have insiders in Sony. You can't really get away with lying to investors. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's why, I agree with Polish Paul on this one, where he said take it with a grain of salt, because this developer could have easily been lying to investors just so they can stay on board and keep their money invested into this company. So they very well could have been lying and just telling investors what they wanted to hear. But I'm just looking at this. I don't believe it any more than he does. But I'm just posing a scenario that what if it does come out this year? This is what I would like to see happen if it did come out this year. Shaz, I think since PSVR will be able to work along with the PS5, people won't get upset. You make a good point there, but I would. If I were to buy, J-Dog, what's up? If I were to buy PSVR 2, the new headset, let's say I were to buy a PSVR in September, and then in November the console comes out and the new headset comes out with it. What if they price the new headset at $300 and I paid $350 for this, and then shortly after I paid $350 for this, then they make a price cut, then they introduce the new headset? I would be fuming. I would be furious. So I feel like a situation like that, you could probably, ease some consumer outrage if they were to go ahead and put it on sale right now and let people feel like they got some time to get use out of it before the new headset comes out. See, Slim, what is good? What's good, my guy? So I think this is the perfect time to make a price cut. I've said it more than once. I think this is the perfect time to make another permanent price cut on this headset. If they don't make a price cut, at the very least, put it on sale next month. Because this is part of the wave of buyers that I talked about. When I made my prediction that the PS5 was going to launch in November of 2019, I made that prediction based on several things. I made that prediction on the belief that Microsoft and Sony were still competing with each other, and it was going to be a foot race to get their consoles out, just like they did this generation, because it was a foot race between the PS4 and the Xbox One. They were in a foot race to get the consoles out because both of them believe whoever gets out the blocks first is going to have the upper hand. The PS4 got out a couple of weeks before the Xbox One, and I think that even though there were several factors as to why Microsoft got their ass kicked this generation, I think that was one of them. So because of that, and also I believe that Sony could have capitalized on the Black Friday shoppers, on the Christmas shoppers. Well, they would have definitely got the first wave of buyers. So let's back up. They would have gotten the first wave of buyers, the hardcore people that really want this console. They could have gotten the Black Friday shoppers. They could have gotten the Christmas shoppers, and then they could have, and then the next wave of people would have been the people who would have been getting their taxes back. After that, it falls off. You may not see a big wave of buyers until the console goes on sale or until they start putting together bundles. So here's the same thing. J-Dog, Iron Man VR delayed. Gotta wait a little longer, I guess. Yeah, at first I was originally let me see. Thomas Hand, if you buy the original PSVR at this stage, you're very late to the party. You would be right, but keep in mind that Sony does want to try to get the PSVR in the hands of as many people as possible. So if they were to go ahead, if Sony were to keep us in the dark about when they release the next headset, I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is, if you want to get some more of this headset sold, knock that price down right now. Or at the very least, put it on sale again. Put it on sale again at a time when you know people are going to have some money. So tax time is the one time where people always have money. At least the ones that have kids or the ones that claim zero, like me. I claim zero on my taxes because I don't want to have to pay them every year. So it really fucked up that I made a decent amount of money, but I only get back like $1,000, whereas people who have a gang of kids and they have minimal taxes taken out and they get back like 10 grand. You know, that it is what it is. You said, I wonder if PSVR 2 can be used with OG PS4. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. Because if they did that, if you think like me, if they were to do that, there's going to be some people out there that's going to feel like they don't need the PS5 if the new headset will work on the PS4. I just don't think Sony would let that happen. Let me see, Thomas Hand. I think stock might be low on the original. I definitely think Sony will be ready with 2. See, with the original stock, Thomas Hand, unless Sony was manufacturing this console on an as needed basis, they shouldn't have faced the situation where they had a shortage. And if they were because to me, demand was not that high. And then the media didn't do this headset any favors by throwing a bunch of dirt on it, talking about motion sickness and its niche is not going to get over with the mainstream. The media did everything they could to try to sabotage this headset. And when Sony gave its first reported numbers on the headset, which I think was like 10 months into the life cycle of this headset, they had a reported 750,000 units sold, which at the time was still more than Oculus Rift CV1 and HTC Vive combined. But it still fell short of their expectations. So, in my opinion, if what you did in the first 10 months fell short of your expectations, and you're still short on supply, then they were lucky to get out the 750,000 that they sold. So something doesn't add up there. So I mean, if they had higher expectations than the 750,000 that they sold to start out the first 10 months, then they should have had supply to meet those expectations. So how can you have higher expectations than the reported numbers if you don't have supply to meet that expectations? It doesn't sound right. So I'm led to believe that Sony didn't have high expectations for the launch of this headset and probably only manufactured them on an as needed basis. Says still rumors that new headset coming with PS5. I hope so. I hope that's true. And Shats, it said, would you buy PS5 and PSVR 2 a bundle at launch? 99% yes. And the only reason why I left out that 1% is for the second subject that we're going to get into when I make my way over to that second subject. So, but in any case, I just think if they want to, when the new headset comes out, PSVR 2, the current PSVR, that thing is going to die. The only people that's going to buy it are the super, super, super late people that's, late to the party. And the only way you're going to get them on board is to sell it pretty cheap. Now, there have been rumors that Sony would launch PSVR 2 at $250, which I think would be crazy. But if they did, it would have a huge impact at launch. But what do you do about this current headset? Where would you put this current headset? I mean, if you're going to sell PSVR 2 at $250, this current headset that we're looking at right now, with the Move controllers, you would have to, at the very most, you couldn't sell it more than $200. I think you'd have to knock it down to $150. So I just think that's the good. I think that's the best move to make right now is just go ahead and knock the price down, do another permanent price cut, or go ahead and put this thing on sale. Put the headset on sale next month when a lot of people get their taxes back, because people gonna blow their money on some dumb shit. When they get their taxes back, somebody got about $5,000 in their hand, they gonna blow that money on some dumb shit, and then a lot of people gonna spend that money on alcohol and weed and shit like that. To me, that's the perfect opportunity to get in on that money while they have it, because for some people, the $4,000 or $5,000 that they're going to get for taxes, that's going to be the most money they're going to have in their hand at one time. Once they blow all that money, that's it. They ain't going to have that kind of money until the next year. So as far as the tax people goes, if you don't get some of them while they got that money in their hand, you're not going to get them until the next year. You're not going to have a chance to get them until the next year, because they'll go back to struggling and living check to check. So I think that's another reason. I think that tax return crowd is just as important as the Christmas crowd. Because with the Christmas crowd, people spend money they don't have. Whereas the tax crowd, they do spend money that they do have. And they are fools, as the saying goes, where they say a fool and their money is soon parted. They will blow that money trying to act like they're living the high life for about 2 days. So Thomas Hand, the Move controller might be the problem. There from the PS3. Same with the camera. If you're talking about trying to get this stuff, I don't know, but that's where I stand on that. I've already spent way too much time talking about that situation that I wanted to. I mean, at the bottom line is, I do hope that PSVR 2 does launch alongside PS5. What do we got here? Somebody says no comment. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now it's time to go ahead and get into the subject. This first subject is about the Oculus Quest. As a lot of you know, it's supposed to be sold out till late February, early March. And I'm part of a few Oculus groups on Facebook. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to see people get an Oculus Quest, because a lot of people are posting pictures of, when they got their Quest. And a lot of them, the headlines are usually the same. And they usually says, finally. So I've talked about this subject before, but I only lightly touched on the subject about if Oculus is... are they holding back stock to try to drive up demand, and are they creating a false shortage to try to drive up demand of the Oculus Quest, or is this shortage real? And I've got two ways of looking at it, and I felt like, okay, if the shortage is real, how could Oculus not be prepared for this, surge in demand for the Oculus Quest? Because it's obvious they're watching YouTubers and watching everybody, because I've said this before. They highlight YouTubers on the Oculus app. So they are well aware of what we are saying on YouTube and I would like to think Reddit and that kind of stuff. And they've had to know for quite a while that the Oculus Quest was going to be one of the most sought after Christmas gifts this year, or this past Christmas. So how could they have not gotten ready for that, is what I'm asking. I mean, how could they have not doubled their staff or what have you to try to try to get them out, to try to get these headsets out to meet demand for Christmas. Foodie time for me, bro. Take care and peace. All right, Thomas Hand, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. And Ascended Super Saiyan, you said Xbox. You know, I was going to ignore that, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Xbox Series X is clearly the more capable console in terms of raw computing power than the gimmicky PS5. How can you say something like that when we don't have any confirmed specs from either of these consoles, and you know just as much about the Xbox Series X that you know about the PS5? So how do you know that the Xbox Series X is going to be a legitimate console and the PS5 is going to be gimmicky? I mean, that's basically the way I see it, that's basically a troll comment right there. But in any case, I'll move on. So back to this situation with this shortage. So if this shortage is fake and Oculus created this shortage to try to drive up demand, I don't think it's cool. Gopher, what's up? I don't think it's cool that they shorted people for the holiday. Because I didn't know how many people came up short on the Oculus Quest until I joined these Facebook groups where these people were talking about trying to get a Quest for their kids and they couldn't get one because they were sold out. And I think, you know, and I hate to use that word, but I really think that's fucked up because, you know, I'm putting in that nonprofit work. If you want to, in a sense, I'm working for Oculus, I'm working for PSVR, I'm working for any manufacturer of a headset, and I'm working for any developer because I'm trying to spread the word about VR. I'm trying to promote VR. I'm trying to do my part to get VR to the mainstream. And I feel like that might be a little bit difficult if there's no headsets to buy. The Valve Index, I believe that shortage, that headset's $1,000. So you can't, I just don't believe that they would have a headset. I mean, I don't believe that they would have a warehouse where they got about 1 million headsets stocked, you know, and just waiting to trickle them out to the public. I think their shortage is real. Shats, you said, I was going to buy a Quest right at Christmas. Now my boy has one. I'm holding off, saving for the PS5. Hey, smart. You know, absolutely. Golfer, I'm good. Just finished shoveling snow. Had 5 inches. Yeah, we got a lot of snow here, too. Robert McLeod, he's talking to Thomas. When I am ever early. When am I ever early? Okay. Yeah, Robert McLeod is fashionably late. So, what I wanted to do was, there was an article I posted on Twitter earlier this week from Forbes. And this Forbes article the headline gives me the impression that they are talking about, you know, supply and demand with the Oculus Quest. And I'm going to read this article, and I'm going to read enough of this article until I get a definitive you know, idea of what direction that this article is going in. So let's change goggles here and put on something a little more powerful. Okay, and this is a Forbes article, and it starts off by saying the Oculus Quest supply situation does a disservice to the VR community and developers. It does. Code Yogurts was good. So let's get into this. Like I said, I don't know how much of this I'm going to have to read because, you know, when I looked at it, it looks like a fairly long article. But like I said, I'll read enough of it until I get an idea of what direction that this article is going. So, many people are excited about buying the Oculus Quest. For many, it will be their first VR headset. While it will be one of many for me, this is certainly different. The Oculus Quest represents all that's needed from a VR headset and backs it up with a very solid library of titles and experiences. Some have questions Facebook's intentions with the Quest and the potential for data mining, among other things. However, none of those things matter in the grand scheme of things if the Oculus Quest isn't in people's hands. Unfortunately, it's running into some problems here. Let's take a closer look and say rollout stumbles. The Oculus Quest went on sale May 21st last year. I pre-ordered mine before that day and have enjoyed it since May 21st. I knew what promise this platform had and how it could be used effectively for VR evangelism. The bulk of sales always happen in the fourth quarter for most consumer electronics, and once Q4 rolled around, the Quest ad campaign went live across all platforms. The ad featured a confusing Eric Wareheim advertisement featuring Oculus' most popular game, Beat Saber, which the company recently acquired. Like last year's launch of the Oculus Go, Facebook waited well until the quarter to run its ad campaign. A lost opportunity for the company, in my opinion. So is the other main criticism that I have is that the company had many months to anticipate market demand and build up a stockpile of headsets to meet it. That's exactly where I was going. And it clearly did not. In December, the U.S. what the fuck? In December, the U.S. places like Amazon and GameStop were sold out of the 128 gig model for weeks. Walmart and Best Buy were out of stock for a while and recently ran out again. While I'm not fully aware of Oculus's international stock situation, I'm perplexed it isn't sold out in Canada. Wow, that's interesting. Most Best Buy still have both versions of the headset in stock, and Amazon Canada and Newegg in Canada still have the 128 gig. At this point, I'm not sure what to think. Either Facebook didn't advertise heavily enough in Canada or completely miscalculated demand here as well. I suspect it's more the former than the latter. As of right now, I think VR is bigger in the UK than it is here. And I just base that on the YouTube channels that I see. The majority of the YouTube VR-centric channels that I see, most of them are European. Which is fine with me. Hey, it's a universal language. I want everybody to experience VR. So, continuing on. In Europe, many places like Amazon.de are out of stock of the 64 gig, though the 128 gig is still available in some places. Retailers like Media Market in Germany have the Quest in stock. The 128 gig appears ready to ship, while the 64 gig requires a few days for delivery. Media Market is relevant because it is the largest retailer of electronics in Europe. Fnac in France appears to have both versions of the headset available, but at a much higher price than retail. The 64 gig sells for €200, more than 128 gig because of its higher demand. Currently, Oculus is showing a March 2nd ship date for the 64 gig Quest on its site and February 28th for the 128 gig model, both dates over a month and a half out from the time of this writing. So wrapping up. Okay, I can go ahead and finish this whole article off because this is the last paragraph right here. Wrapping up. Fundamentally, these stock issues either represent a mismanagement of resources or poor planning around the demand for the Oculus Quest. Facebook's ad campaign in the US is aggressive and prominent, and I believe it did a good job of selling the platform, even if I didn't particularly care for the ad. However, by selling out rather than seeding as many headsets as possible, the company hurt the size of its install base. This will inevitably affect how developers approach the platform. I'm really hoping that the people who want an Oculus Quest can get one for a reasonable price, but I know plenty of friends of mine who had hoped to buy one over the holidays. Now they can't, and that's really a shame. So according to that article, hold on a second. Let me turn this fan on. It's getting warm in here. So according to this article, they don't think this shortage is fake. They think that's poor planning on Oculus's part. And I was flip-flopping. 1 minute I was thinking Oculus wasn't prepared for this shit. The next minute I was thinking that okay, they fabricated this shit to drive up demand. And I think right now the shortage might be real. Oh, thanks Sony. What is good, my guy? I see your pose there, my guy. What's good, man? How you doing? But I'm wondering at the beginning when this thing first launched, I'm beginning to wonder if the shortage was fake. Because as this article pointed out, we didn't start seeing a bunch of Oculus ads until the fourth quarter. Those ads weren't there like that when this headset first launched. So it begs the question: did they have a stockpile of Oculus Quest and deliberately created a shortage and then trickled them out once the demand soared for this headset? What's up, Leaf? You said, should I go to Canada? Why? Because actually, even though these headsets are sold out, I think if you know what, let me check Best Buy right now just to see what it says. Because I don't think you'll have to wait as long to get an Oculus Rift S as you would a Quest. But let me check just for the hell of it. Let me check the Quest. Now, Walmart is a funny ass site because sometimes I go to the Walmart website and the 64 gig Oculus Quest costs $400 like it's supposed to. And then I would come back a couple of days later and see the shit advertised at $600. So, but let's see what we got here. Okay. Oculus Quest. So, let me see here. See, Leaf, if you're listening, if you still listen, like the 128 gig Quest, if you were to order one now, you can pick it up on January 21st, which is not 24th, which is not that far out. Shit, that's only 6 days out. Why would you need to go to Canada? Now let's talk about this 64 gig. Wow. Let me show you what it says about the 64 gig. Not available in stores, not available for online order. Wow. So, if you want a 64 gig through Best Buy, you're screwed. That's another thing that I've wondered. I've wondered because the 128 gig Quest, I believe, is not selling near as good as the 64 gig Quest. So I wonder if there's been times when Oculus has held back stock of the 64 gig Quest in order to sell the 128 gig Quest, because I'm led to believe that a lot of people who are buying the Oculus Quest is buying it for the first time, and I'm under the buying their first VR headset, and it gives me the impression that those who bought a 128 gig Quest bought it because the 64 gig was not available. So I'm wondering if that was some bullshit that Oculus pulled holding back stock on the 64 gig in order to move some of the 128 gigs that they may have laying around. That's been something that's been burning inside of me for quite a while. Let's check Walmart. Because they are another retailer that carries the Oculus Quest. Oculus Quest in all departments. At Walmart.com. Oh my God. What did I tell y'all? This is for the 64 gig Quest. Look at this price. Look at that price. What did I tell you? They price gouging the shit out of people. $489 start. But it does arrive by January 24th. You do get the Star Wars Vader Immortal series bundle. But those games are $10 for each episode. So that comes out to be $430 retail. But yet they're still tacking on another $50. So they marking this shit up $50. And then the same deal. The 128 gig comes with the Vader Immortal. Retails for $500. You throw in the $30 for the 3 episodes of Vader Immortal. We're looking at $530. So this comes out to be about a $90 markup. Yeah. So this 128 gig is $619. For the 128 gig. So there's definitely some bullshit going on. Shats, you said that's bullshit, man. That's going to hurt Oculus in the end. Only. Less sales and price gouging. One other second here, folks. Try to get a little bit more lighting on my stream here. Shats, you said they didn't do it when PS4 Pro was sold out, but they did do it with PSVR. I seen Walmart like, okay, this PSVR right here that you're looking at right here that I got on screen, that's with the Move controller bundle. It retailed for $500 when it first launched. I ordered it day one because I didn't want to take a chance, because I had a funny feeling that it was going to be hard to get one, even if it supposedly wasn't in demand, even if it supposedly was going to fail. I didn't want to run across a situation where, again, they create a false shortage and then it's hard to get. So I pre-ordered the headset. And I got it day one. But shortly after I got my headset, I'd probably say about a month after I got my headset, you couldn't find one. They was hard as fuck to get. And then I was checking Walmart and they had them. But like this particular bundle right here that retailed for $500 at the time, Walmart was selling it for $1,400. They was doing some eBay shit. Cold Yogurt, you said how much they charging Quest? You're driving. Now at Best Buy, they are selling the Quest at its retail for $300 and for $400 and for $500 for both models respectively. But you head on over to the Walmart website, they are selling the 64 gig for $489, and they are selling the 128 gig for $618, and to make it more fucked up, they don't have them in stock. They price gouging you, and then the shit still doesn't arrive until January 24th. So you said people in Canada are thinking they must be crazy for living in Canada. Way too cold. Shit. I live in Michigan. In Michigan, I believe, is one of the most fucked up states in the wintertime in terms of how much snow we deal with. I think only state, because we're right near the lake. For starters, we're surrounded by the lakes. It seems to me like states like maybe Minnesota or Wisconsin have worse winters than us. Cold Yogurt, you said my Best Buy sold out on Quest. Yeah, they sold out everywhere. So now here's the fucked up part. Now this is where I ran into the problem getting my Quest. As I showed you guys a couple of minutes ago, both headsets are sold out through Best Buy. If you order the 128 gig Quest, you can go to the store and pick it up. The 64 gig is not available for order and is not in stock. Now, the situation that I was dealing with when I was trying to get a Quest, when I tried to get one through Best Buy, you could order it, but you could not come to the store to pick it up. They wanted to mail it directly to you. And I couldn't take that chance because I didn't want, Federal Express or whoever to just drop the shit at my doorstep and just leave it there because it would have gotten stolen while I was at work. So I was not going to get a Quest unless I could get it from a place where I could walk in there and pick it up. And that's why it took me over a month to get a Quest because a Walmart, which is about a half an hour from where I live, got some in. They got 7 of them in. And by the time I got there, they only had 1 left. And they didn't know where it was at. So I guess the stock boy in the back room had to tear the whole room apart to find that last Quest. But I did end up getting it. So I feel fortunate. So, but I didn't know in the case of Amazon, if I would have ordered it from Amazon, I would have gotten it in 2 weeks. But what I didn't know was that you don't have to let Amazon drop something off at your door. You can pick a location for them to drop it off, and then you go pick it up. So that part I didn't know. So yes, I definitely live in the States. I live in Michigan. But I don't know. I think to finally sum this situation up with Oculus, I think it might have been a combination of both. I think it might have been a combination of, at some point, I do think Oculus probably could have created a false shortage in order to drive up demand. But I think the current situation that they're in right now is real. Because the Oculus Quest is on fire right now, and I really do believe that they can't keep up with demand. But if they would have, since they wanted to do this, if they really wanted to do this false shortage thing, I think what they could have done was just keep trickling the headsets out, because I realize the psychological effect of what people see. If people go into a Best Buy and they see boxes and boxes and boxes of an Oculus Quest stacked to the ceiling, they may not buy it because the thing that goes through their head is, they're not selling these things. There must be a reason for it. There must be something wrong with it. There must be, a defect with the product. So no, I'm not going to buy one. But if they're constantly flying off shelves, then then they'll be like, okay, these things are kind of hard to get. I better jump on one the next time it comes available. So I think they could have. If they did create a false shortage, I don't think they had to do it like this. I think they could have had a situation where, the Best Buys and other retailers constantly have at least 2 units on their shelves, and they don't have to put, 300 units up against a back wall or some shit like that. So, but in any case, at the end of the day, I do hope that everybody that wants a VR headset will get one, and they don't have to go through this nightmare of having to wait to get one. So that's that on that subject. Moving on to the next subject. a lot of you probably heard that Jason Schreier of Kotaku or whatever they're called claims that Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be coming to PC. Now, I think it's some people are saying that yeah he's credible and that that he has a pretty good batting average when it comes to predicting shit. And so some people are taking him at his word that Horizon Zero Dawn will come to PC. And the big topic lately has been whether it will come to PC natively or will it come through PlayStation Now where you have to stream it and deal with that poor resolution of 720p. And a lot of in the big topic has been, is this a roadmap to Sony's future? Are they getting ready to go the Microsoft route where they're going to bring their games to PC? And if they decide to do that, whether I get affected by it or not depends on how they plan on doing it. A game like Horizon Zero Dawn, if it goes to PC, doesn't affect me. Number one, because it's a flat screen game. Number two, the game is 3 years old. The game has gone as far as it's going to go. Anybody who wants the game has it. So, I mean, at this point, Sony would be essentially putting that game in a closet and it's just sitting there. Because there's nothing you can do unless you're going to add more DLC to the game. At this point, there's nothing you can do on the PlayStation to bring the game back to life. It's in the hands of everybody that wants it. You can't take it any further. So, moving the game to other platforms is the only way you're going to bring the, extend the life of the game. So, the game coming to PC, I think they could definitely extend the life of the game, especially if they allow the game to be modded. Because if they allow the game to be modded, the PC community loves mods. So they're going to do all kinds of shit with Aloy. Some people had pointed out that you can see Aloy with, triple D boobs or extra thick ghetto booty, some shit like that. And you might see some crazy shit happen if that game were to go to a PC and they allow mods. And but they're old games. If they go to PC, okay, fine. Even if they're new games, the games that's coming up, like The Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, if those games were to go to PC day and date alongside, the console release, it still wouldn't affect me because they're flat screen games. Now, granted, I would buy them, but I would end up buying them on PC. But it still wouldn't affect me. Now, to open up a different can of worms, if they were to let their VR exclusives go to PC, now you got my attention, because that makes all the difference in the world whether or not I get a PlayStation 5, because about 95% of the reason why I'm getting a PS5 is because of the VR aspect of it. Mick, sorry guys, time to go. Go catch some of you tomorrow on the VR link. All right, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. Shaz, you said Sony has the best exclusives by far. I see no benefit for Sony now to sell them out. And Cold Yogurt, you said I wish all headsets be like PSVR. I like it better than Quest and Valve headsets. And he said all games on delay. Yeah, several games is delayed. So even with even if Sony were to send some of their VR exclusives to PC, a game like Farpoint wouldn't affect me, because that game's a couple years old. So if Sony were to go this route where wait until these games are 2-3 years old and then send them to PC, it wouldn't affect me, because if I want the game bad enough, I'm going to buy it day one on the PlayStation format. But if they go to Microsoft route and let their first party games go to PC day and date along with the console releases, now you've changed my game plan, because now I have to start examining whether or not I actually need a PS5. So with their VR exclusives, I hope that's not the case because I do want to get a PS5 and I do want to get a PlayStation VR too. Because I do think Sony's going to come out with some compelling exclusives. They did say that they're going to bring us bigger and better experiences on PSVR. So I'm really looking forward to the PS5 and PSVR too. But if they go this PC route, yeah, if they end up going this PC route, then the PS5 could conceivably be my last console. You said until I hear confirmed by Sony, it's still just a rumor. Exactly. So this is just a hypothetical question that I'm posing about whether Sony would send their VR exclusives to PC. It's a hypothetical question. Like for all my fellow VR headsets out there, what would be your reaction if you were to learn that Sony would send their VR exclusives to PC? What would be your reaction? And my reaction is that if the games are 2 or 3 years old, no big deal. I still would buy them day one on the PlayStation. But if they're going to pull some of that Microsoft stuff and send all their new shit to PC day one, then no, I'm going to get it for the PC. But I don't think they would go that route. If they did go that route with their VR exclusives, I think they would go the route where they would probably wait until the game is dead on the PlayStation format and then bring it over to PC. Now, I will say I really haven't dug too much into it, so you guys might know more about this than I do, and that's about Dreams going to PC. Now, if Dreams were to go to PC, I think I might have heard about Dreams, if it were to go to PC, that it would go to the Epic Store, which if that would be the case, I'm not going to buy it. But if Dreams were to go to Steam, oh my God. Because as far as I'm concerned, Dreams is nothing more than a game for Sony to scout talent. Because they're giving you the tools to create your own games, flat screen or VR games. And originally, I was looking forward to this game because I was curious to see how much talent is really out there and see what people could do with these tools and see what kind of games they could create, especially on VR. But in my opinion, even the most talented people can only go so far because of the limitations of the PS4, because, I don't know if it was just restricted to the PS4 Pro, I would think they could probably create, some more shit, more better stuff. But because of the PS4 having to be part of this ecosystem, I'd imagine it's only so far they can go with the stuff that they could create on Dreams. Now, if Dreams goes to PC, that's a whole different animal. Because if Dreams were to go to PC and if it were to go to Steam, or whatever the case may be, I think you're going to see some phenomenal shit created on Dreams. I think you would see some unbelievable shit. Because there's some people out there with a tremendous amount of talent on the PC format. People talk that shit about the PC master race and all this kind of stuff, but there's some talented people out there on the PC. I'm like, some of these people on PC, I'm like, how you don't have a job working for NASA is beyond me. If Dreams were to come to Shaz, you said Dreams is way too much for me. I'd rather just play good games. I think if Dreams were to come to, especially Steam, if Dreams were to come to Steam, whatever the asking price is for Dreams, you're going to get well worth your money because there's going to be so many people out there creating so much shit for it. Look at Pavlov. Pavlov was only $10. But because of the modding on Pavlov, all the maps and all the modes that have been added to Pavlov, from gamers, shit, as far as I'm concerned, Pavlov could easily be worth $50 right now with all the content that people have added to it through modding. Pavlov is worth his weight in gold because of the modding. And I think Onward is about to get on board with that because, um, excuse me, because I think Onward is about to allow modding. Because I think they see the success of Pavlov. As far as VR first-person shooter games on PC, I think Pavlov is the most played game out there. And the most successful game, the game was dirt cheap at $10, and then modding is allowed. So the game has a pretty good-sized community, and the game ain't going to die anytime soon. Yeah, exactly, Top Dog. To me, Dreams, as I said, Dreams is a means for Sony to scout talent. So that wherever they put Dreams at, regardless of where they put Dreams at, on the PS4, at the Epic Store, wherever, Sony's going to be watching all that stuff that's out there because I think they're going to use it as a means to recruit talent. I think they're going to see somebody create something amazing, and they're going to pluck that guy and offer him a job. So for people that know how to develop games and shit like that, I think Dreams is your opportunity. I would look at it as an interview process. This is your chance to to be scouted and evaluated by a huge company. So I think whatever they charge for Dreams is going to be worth the money because there's going to be more shit out there than you can imagine. The console, on the other hand, I'm not sure how many people are going to go out of their way to create stuff on Dreams on the PS4 because they don't get down like that because Sony don't let you create shit. So people who want to create shit are not going to go to the PlayStation to do it. They're going to be on PC. So I think in terms of people putting content on the Dreams game, however, I think you're going to see 10 times as many people put shit on the PC part of Dreams than the console. So I think the console part of Dreams, I think people are going to be there to play games, not create them. But I think it's going to be the other way around on the PC version of it because you have the tools at your disposal to do whatever you want. I think it's going to be a ton of people creating content for Dreams on PC. So I really don't know the situation with Dreams. So I don't know if there was a formal announcement from Sony whether it was going to PC or not, but I've listened to a few podcasts where people were talking about how they might have seen the cover art for the game and it doesn't say only on PlayStation, that kind of stuff. So they're reading into it that it's probably going to go to other formats. And I think Dreams is a game that is better served going to PC. So, but there's my view on the Quest debacle and a hypothetical question of whether or not Sony would eventually send any of their games to PC. So I'm going to get ready to wrap it up here in a minute, but I think maybe I will take a moment to read a couple of my things here. Go to Twitter. Okay, Path of the Warrior. Co-op is live. So the multiplayer is live on Path of the Warrior. That came out a couple of days ago. Which is cool. So I tried it a couple of days ago but couldn't find a game. But now that the word is out that the multiplayer is active, I'd imagine there's going to be some people out there shouldn't have a problem finding a game to play now. The Oculus Go is now at a permanent price of $150. I got mixed feelings about the Oculus Go. Part of me wants to see that headset discontinued so everybody can move on to the Quest. so you can get all the benefits of the Oculus Go and still be able to play games on top of that. And plus, I don't really want people. We had that possible situation where they were talking about how the manner in which Oculus advertised the Oculus Go, it might have misled people into thinking that it was the Oculus Quest. It might have bought it mistakenly for Christmas, thinking that they bought their kid a Quest when they actually bought them a Go, which I think would be if I have not seen how Oculus was marketing the Go. I haven't seen it, but if that was the case, then I think that would be underhanded. Robert McLeod, you said my next game is Resident Evil 7 VR. Yeah. A PSVR exclusive. And a favorite amongst a lot of PSVR gamers. So, I guess I got to get ready to get out of here shortly so I can get ready to pick my son up. Worst Christmas ever if you get a Go. Yeah, Shats. Yeah. Okay, looks like that might be all I got at the moment. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about all I got. Let me see here. What am I going to do today? Naturally, I'm going to play some VR. Quest or the Go? Sounds all confusing to me. Quest, Robert McLeod. No Go. Quest. Don't even fuck with the Don't even fuck with the Go. For some reason, the lighting is weird in here. This camera has an attitude problem. Some days the lighting is good. Some days it's bad. So. Shats, you're asking me if I finished Asgard's Wrath yet? No, because don't forget, Shats, my computer took a dump about a month ago. And, I got the computer back last week. And since then, I've been spending this whole time re-downloading these games back into my PC. And I have not re-downloaded Asgard's Wrath back into the PC yet because of how big the file is. The file is 130 gigs. So I'm going to have to pick a day where I can basically let the computer run for the entire day to download it. Robert McLeod, you said only VR I know about is PSVR. There's a ton of headsets out there, Robert McLeod. So, yeah, right, forgot the PC. Yeah, and then there's this issue with the NDI plugging that I still have to address. I'm going to try to get that done today and address the NDI plugin for Streamlabs, which will allow my two computers to communicate so I can game on one PC and stream from the other. I do know that the quality is going to be compromised, 720p stream. And I understand that there's like a little bit of a delay from the moment that I do something on my PC from when you guys might actually see it. Whatever it is, but this time I'm trying to protect my computer. I think I might have participated in killing that computer because I think I put a heavy load on that PC by streaming and gaming from the same PC. I think the PC, because of the processor that's in there, can handle one or the other, but not both. So I'm going to use the gaming PC for gaming and use this PC for streaming. As far as PlayStation VR goes, when I stream that, that will go on the way it has been. You said I hate all the damn wires. You know what? All the cords on my PlayStation VR have coiled up so bad that I uncoiled them and then wrapped them up with tape to try to keep them from coiling up again. So half my cord is taped. That cord is awful. Now, that's one thing that Oculus did right. The cord from my Oculus Rift S has not coiled up. So I absolutely love that. So it's and then I'm still not done. I still gotta tape up some more of the wire on my PlayStation VR. I got about half of it taped, but the other half that isn't taped is all coiled up. So yeah, I gotta get back to that, but getting back to what I was gonna do, if I get this NDI plugin set up today the way I'm hoping to, then I'm liable to stream anything. But if I don't, then I guess I'll be streaming something on PlayStation VR, Firewall, or Spark. I really don't see any point in streaming Beat Saber because I've done enough Beat Saber streams on PSVR, and I really haven't gotten any new music. And Sony doesn't allow custom tracks, so I wish I wanted to try to get a hold of the developer of Racket Fury and try to get a developer key from them, but I can't find out how to get in touch with them. So. Paradise VR is a PC killer? Well, I guess I won't have to worry about that because I only visited the game once for about a half an hour, but it's obviously become quite the joke. But that is all I got. I am going to boogie out of here and start playing some VR. So thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And do make sure that you tune into the VR link tomorrow. I think we go live at about 1:30 or 2 p.m. Eastern. And we usually let that go for about a half an hour before we actually start the show to give people time to pile in there because YouTube has been weird with the notifications. It's like by the time we actually get on with the show, by the time people get in there, we're already about 15-20 minutes into the show, so we want to try to give everybody a chance to get in there before we get the show started. I threw my index controller across the room while playing Boneworks. What? If it's broken, it's supposed to be broken. You deserve it, Cold Yogurt. Cold Yogurt, you deserve it if you threw it. So... But all right, y'all. Thanks, Shats, for coming by. Appreciate it. I thank everybody else for coming through. And I'm really going. I'm through stalling this shit out. I'm really out of here, y'all. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.